All I can do in looking at this is pick a little bit. I'm looking at the equipment line where it's gone up from 2007, a few dollars, and I'm looking at the overhead where it's gone up a few dollars. If you add up the increases in those two, it comes out to a whopping $5,000. I know it is very picky, but again, if there are ways to cut back in any way on these things, I would ask that we cut back.
But just to remind you, Councilman, they did not go up 5,000. We just played the shell game. We took from Peter to pay Paul.
How so? Explain that to me.
Sure, I'd be glad to. We took $6,000 out of account 425. We went from 12,000 to 6,000.
Which is?
Dry goods and clothing. Okay? $1,000 was allocated to account 215. $3,000 was allocated to the vehicle maintenance, which is 317,211, as we've identified a major repair that we have to do to one of the apparatus. And then the other $2,000 is in sub-account 511.
So if I understand,
So the bottom line did not go up.
well, now I'm disappointed, because when I looked at sub-account 425, I was congratulating you in my mind for reducing costs from 12,000 to 6, but now you're telling me you didn't, you just put them in other accounts.
Well,
Again,
you can still congratulate me for keeping my budget in line for 10 years.
I appreciate that, sir, and please don't misunderstand me, but I'm not concerned about the last 10 years, I'm concerned about 2009. If we don't cut, the taxpayers are going to be paying more than they want to pay, more than I want to pay. We've got to cut. We've already heard from one group, the library, who's been before us many times, will be back before us again tonight, arguing that we need to be fair and spread the pain. I think that's a valid point. I think we need some cuts. I don't know where they're coming from, and I'd have to look to you in the department and your liaison on the council to propose further cuts. But speaking for myself only, I think we need something else.
I can speak that, to the overtime issue.
Yes, we haven't gotten to overtime yet,
Yeah,
actually.
well, okay, well, the borough has recommended a number lower than what Doug is requesting, and I think, Doug, you will go with the borough recommendation,
Yes,
correct?
yeah, when I made my original proposal, under the department proposal, I was gathering information related to the EMS training. And that figure represented overtime to train everyone at the same time. And we have since found a less costly alternative that's going to enable us to train a few people at a time. So it will take us longer to get people trained, but the cost savings was worth it. Unfortunately, with the contractual increases that are built in and combined with a little bit of overtime for the new training, I didn't think the recommended funding for overtime was realistic. So I am requesting that another $10,000 be added to the overtime budget.
Are there any other questions of the chief? At this time, then we will move on to fire vehicle maintenance 317.
The again, $3,000 is coming from account 265, so that explains the increase from 10,000 to 13,000, and supplies remains the same at 7,000.
And Chief, could you just explain the increase in the services from 9 to 13?
Yeah, it's actually from 10 to 13. We had 10,000 budgeted last year.
I'm just looking at the actual, which is more important to me.
9564.
Mm-hmm. I'm not questioning, I'm just asking what is the increase, what's that based on?
The increase is for one of our pumpers needs a valve replacement, a main valve replacement, and we've identified that to be about $2,800.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, that should do it for the fire department. Thank you at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you. This time we'll move on to account number 390, which is the library.
Just make sure you pull them a little closer. Closer? If you don't mind. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait till Ray finishes passing out whatever. Yeah. Okay, well,
He's
Nancy.
making out, or he's handing out copies of what you received last night.
Very good. Okay.
Okay, I think are we ready to start?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And ma'am.
Just for the record, I'm Tom Bintinger, and I'm the president of the Board of Trustees of the library, and I think you know Nancy Adamczyk, who is the director of the library. Maybe just a few introductory comments, I think, on behalf of the board and the staff. I think we understand the budgetary pressures and challenges that you are facing. We know that you are not the enemy. I recall a famous Pogo quote that one of my partners used to say to me when we were facing some difficult challenges. We have met the enemy, and we are us. And
Fortunately, by quoting Pogo, you're dating yourself.
Yeah.
From the looks of the
You're right,
room,
yeah.
we all understand who
Yeah.
Pogo was.
Our comments tonight are hopefully to provide you some information regarding the budgetary issues facing the library, such that you can take them into account, I think, in your deliberations over the next several weeks. I hope you know that you will recognize that we're acting as advocates for the library, as I think any of the other people that are appearing before you. I just think, and I think Mr. Dunham's comment, I think the fundamental question, at least that we are believing need to really be answered, is the Free Public Library of Madison a service that is considered and provided to the citizens of the borough of Madison on an equal basis that is equivalent to the other services? Or is it an entity that's been forced onto the borough that it has to support? And I think that is kind of the question I think that we are feeling that has to be kind of answered.